Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with attbbq.com, and this is Sweet Heat Deviled Eggs. Deviled eggs, what a wonderfully polarizing party appetizer. Now, most people either love them or hate them, and I don't know why there's not much of an in-between, but I'm gonna assume that if you clicked on this video and you're not in the love them category, you're at least willing to hear me out, and that's all I'm asking for. Now, the beautiful thing about deviled eggs is you can cook them and prepare them a million different ways. There's always a different flavor profile to go for, and honestly, I rarely cook them the same way twice because they're too much fun to experiment with. But what you guys are gonna get today is a tested and ATBBQ crew approved sweet heat deviled egg. And when I say sweet heat, I don't mean cloyingly sweet, and I don't mean melt your face off hot. You guys know how much I appreciate balance, and I wouldn't do that to you. What you need to know is there's bacon involved, and I'm just gonna stop there because that's all we really need to know. Let's fire up the grill. Today we're cooking on the Kamado Joe Kettle Joe. We got it loaded up with our big block charcoal. Get a few fire starters going here and let this charcoal get hot, because we're actually going to cook our eggs right here in the grill today. We've got glowing hot coals now. It's about 750 degrees in here. I'm going to show you guys a fun trick. These are the grates from a Kamado Joe Classic 3. They fit pretty nicely right on top of that ceramic firebox. So we can actually get our pot down low and cook our eggs right here in the grill. I'm gonna get a dozen eggs in here and cover them with some warm water. I'll let this come up to a boil over the next 15 minutes or so. Then we'll take them right out of here, cover them with a lid, and let them sit for 10 minutes. And that should be just right. They just need to be covered by about an inch or so. We'll leave them uncovered for now and just close the lid to trap all that heat in there and bring this up to a simmer. While we're waiting on the water, I'm gonna take 4 ounces of bacon, and we're just gonna slice this really thin. We want to totally crumble this bacon in the end, so we're gonna start off by slicing it super thin, then we'll cook it in the grill, and once it's crispy, we'll break it down even further. It's only taken about 12 minutes to get to a boil. So we're gonna cover this now. I'm gonna take it off the grill. Then we're gonna put our standard grates for the Kettle Joe here. We're gonna come in here with an 8-inch skillet, throw our bacon down while it's cold, close the lid, let this crisp up. Meanwhile, we've got 10 minutes that those eggs need to soak in the hot water before we take them out. We've had 10 minutes to soak now. It should put us in a pretty ideal situation for the doneness of our hard-boiled eggs. So those yolks should be solidified, but not crumbly and overdone yet. And we're gonna fully stop that cooking process now by putting these into an ice bath. Some cold water and some ice. And a little stir to work that ice around. And we'll let these soak in here for about 10 minutes to cool off. Bacon's looking great now. It's got that color where you know it's gonna crisp as it cools off. So let's grab a slotted spoon here and get it out of that fat and onto a paper towel to drain a bit. We're now ready for the tedious task of peeling all of our eggs. We'll give it a gentle crack. You never know what you're gonna get with these, right? It's like you think you have all the answers, you got it all figured out, and sometimes you just get a bad batch of eggs, but looks like we're lucking out today. It's gonna peel really nicely. So I'll give this a little dunk back in the water to rinse off any little bits of shell. And then we'll just transfer this over to a paper towel on a sheet pan and keep rolling. You don't have to stick around for this. I can do it by myself. We didn't do too bad today. We have one that's just really kind of gnarly. But to be honest with you, I've kind of come to embrace that and prefer it when we have one white that's just kind of unusable almost, because I love to overfill deviled eggs. So if I have more filling than I have whites, I'm kind of happy about that so that I can pipe a little bit more on top in the end. So we're just gonna have all of these. We'll pop the yolks out. In places where we've done a good job, hopefully it just come out whole, not too crumbly. So I'm gonna work my way through all dozen eggs here. Yeah, got an off-center yolk on this one. It's a tedious process. You guys are familiar with it. We'll be back. Last one now. I'm gonna pop this out and go ahead and put together this filling. So for a dozen eggs, I've got 6 tablespoons of mayo. We're using good old Duke's mayo here. I'm gonna add to that 2 tablespoons of mustard, and we're using our cowboy mustard today, which is a yellow mustard base that's sweetened up just a little bit. And then it's got some jalapenos in it, so it's got kind of a mild heat to it. And a little bit of smoke flavor in there as well, which you'll definitely pick up on. So 2 tablespoons of mustard. Got a little hot sauce here. You can use your favorite kind, but we're gonna use our Heat Mavericks Anti-Gravity. And how much you want is totally up to you. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon. This is just the regular anti-gravity. It's not the Scorpion, so this shouldn't burn anyone out too bad. But you could always do less of it for the kids. And then last, we need some salt. We've got the Jacobsen black garlic salt. I'm gonna do about 3/4 of a teaspoon here. And that's it. Let's get it all mashed up. We get this mashed down and mixed until it's smooth, and we're gonna throw it in the piping bag and finish these off. So this is looking good now. Let's get it loaded up. I'm gonna use a piping bag, but if you don't have a piping bag, you can just use like a zip top bag and cut the corner off. I'm not even gonna use a tip. We're just gonna cut the end of the bag open because I'm gonna garnish with the bacon. That's the only thing we haven't included yet here. So I don't need to worry about like a fancy star tip or anything like that. I'm just gonna press all of that down as far as I can. And we'll go ahead and snip the tip. And we're good to go. So we'll kind of mound these up just a little bit. If we have extra, we can always come back and add a little bit more. So now for the final little bit here, we're gonna break down this bacon even further. Don't skip this and use bacon bits. Everyone will know. Do it fresh. Well, we'll just do a pinch on top of each one, kind of press it into the top. Try to get full coverage with the bacon. Got them all plated up. Let's get a taste. First thing I get is that creaminess. Good old Duke's mayo. Mixed with that yellow mustard smokiness though. And it's just a touch sweet. Second thing you notice for sure, crunch. You got that crunch, you got that contrast from the bacon on top. Smoky bacon, smoky mustard, creamy, with just the right amount of like warming heat. This is a really fun recipe for deviled eggs. Certainly not the most traditional. No pickles in there, and I love pickles and deviled eggs. But that gives us the opportunity to try another one of these videos in the future, and maybe for you guys to try something a little bit different that you haven't done before. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button, and if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to attbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.